Hey everybody, how's it going? It's the Daily Shooter, and today I want to talk about the possible packing of the Supreme Court and what that would mean for the Second Amendment. This channel is proud to be supported by the USCCA. The U.S. Concealed Carry Association helps responsible Americans like you prepare for what happens before, during, and after an act of lawful self-defense. USCCA members get life-saving education, expert training, plus defense liability insurance. These benefits provide more than 500,000 USCCA members with the peace of mind that they deserve. Plus, a USCCA membership is always risk-free with their 100% money-back, bulletproof guarantee. Membership is truly an investment worth exploring. Click the most important link you might click ever down below and activate your U.S. Concealed Carry Association membership now. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the potential for Supreme Court packing and not only what it means for us, but what it means for the Second Amendment. So as it stands right now, the Supreme Court has not been super friendly to the Second Amendment. What I mean by that is a majority of the cases that go up to the Supreme Court for consideration are kicked back down to the lower courts. Now, every one of these that makes it up to the Supreme Court is very important, but some are more important than others because we have two lower courts that have opposing decisions. So you might have the Ninth Circuit with one decision and the Third Circuit with a totally different decision. So you can see that there is a confusion across the board that needs to be clarified by the Supreme Court. So they need to look at this, they need to evaluate it, and the Supreme Court needs to make the ultimate decision on these cases. And they're not. They're sending them right back. Now, that is even with a majority conservative judges. So what the Democrats are trying to do right now is to add an influx of new judges that think their way. Now, we're not just talking about regular, Democrat judges. We're not just talking about liberal judges. We are talking about them trying to appoint activist judges. They want their agenda pushed through, and they want it pushed through even to the point where if somebody was to challenge it in court, they know that their activist judges would work on their behalf and they would be able to strike it down if it was not in their favor. So we know that what they're trying to do right now is to basically get their agenda rubber stamped, right? Well, what is one of the things that's on the left's agenda? Well, we all know it's gun control, right? And we've seen the things that they've been putting through that they want to have done in terms of gun control. Well, if they were able to pass these things, which would be completely unconstitutional, right? If they were to pass those things and then a lawsuit obviously would come later, once that lawsuit went through and wound its way up, if it wasn't stopped at a lower level and it made its way to the Supreme Court would more than likely take the case because a majority of the judges would then be left-leaning judges and they want to help support the people in Congress that are creating these laws that, again, work along with their agenda. So anything to do with gun control that made it up to the Supreme Court, I guarantee you, if the courts get packed, we are going to see unfavorable decisions come from the Supreme Court. So as of right now, we're seeing no decisions. They're just kicking everything back to the lower court, which still in most cases does not work in our favor. But if they do decide to take these cases, because a majority of the judges there are left-leaning or ultra-left-leaning, then the cases that they take, they're taking them so that they can strike that case down if it's something that's in our favor and try and, again, work on that gun control agenda, but just at a different level. So you have Congress and the Supreme Court would then be working together to accomplish gun control. So packing the Supreme Court would not only be devastating to the Second Amendment, and it would be devastating to the Second Amendment, but it would be devastating to the entire country as a whole. There would be a massive shift, a massive change. One of the biggest changes would be trust. People already do not trust the government, and for good reason. The government really shouldn't be trusted. Governments of all types across the world should not be trusted. The people should have a check on the government. But one thing I want to say is, if you lose the trust then of the court system as well, then there is no trust in the entire system. That means that nobody trusts our government, nobody trusts the courts, which means you can't trust anything that comes out of the people who make law in this country. And to that effect, we would see a denial of liberties across the board. And so packing the courts would be absolutely terrible. Once people lose all trust, knowing that if something is passed and it goes to the court's not going to look at it in the context of the Constitution. They're going to look at it in the context of their agenda. And people no longer have faith in the court system on top of the government. We're going to have a big problem in this country that we're going to have to face and we're going to have to deal with. So hopefully it doesn't happen. Now, trust me, I know there's people out there that are watching right now that are going to say this. I get the email all the time, people preaching this to me, and trust me, I agree with you. People say that the Constitution was written by man, but these are rights that were granted to us by God. So we have a God-given right to defend ourselves. We have a God-given right to live our lives freely without oppression, right? We had these rights prior to the Constitution ever being written. Well, the problem is that some people use that as a crutch because they say that no matter what law is created, regardless if it goes against the Constitution, it doesn't matter because we have these rights regardless of whether or not they even abolish the Constitution altogether. And so they use that as a crutch to be able to just sit back and say, look, I'm just going to let them do whatever they want because even if the Constitution is gone, I still have these God-given rights. And one thing I want to tell those people who are watching right now is, regardless if these rights were granted to us by God or they were guaranteed to us by the Constitution or even given to us by the Constitution, it doesn't matter. As long as there are people out there who want to take your rights and your freedoms away from you, then we have to be able to stand up and fight back against it. It doesn't matter if they existed prior to the Constitution. It doesn't matter if the Constitution just guarantees it. There are people out there who want to see your liberties taken away from you. And so you have to be able to do something about it in your own way. If that means supporting a Second Amendment advocacy group like the FPC or the GOA, if you just donate or become a member of one of those organizations, that's doing something. A lot of people think that you have to somehow, be at the Capitol and be, somehow an activist in the streets with a bullhorn. You don't have to do that. There's ways that you can help behind the scenes and help those people that are able to go into court for us. You can tell people about it, spread the word. Just being an advocate for the Second Amendment and an advocate for the things that are going on is enough. If we are able to spread the word and help support those people that can get in court and fight back against this stuff, then that's really all you need to do. You don't need to do some big, massive thing to be part of the change that's needed to fix the problems that we're seeing now. So I want to thank all of you very much for watching. If you wouldn't mind, hit that subscribe button. It would help greatly, especially while I'm demonetized here. Also, check out the links in the description box to the USCCA. Become a member. Become a member of the FPC. Be part of the solution, not the problem, and don't just sit back and do nothing. Again, thank you all very much for watching. Please like, subscribe. Have a great day.